Caitlin Clark to the New York Liberty? Confirmed? You guys? The photo circulating went viral of Caitlin Clark in the bowels of the Barclays Center with Liberty coach Sandy Brondello and Brianna Stewart and Sabrina.
The basketball world is buzzing, and for good reason. What started as a simple post-game tunnel moment has blown up into the biggest story in women's hoops. Caitlin Clark, the superstar guard still with the Indiana Fever, was spotted in a seemingly private meeting with New York Liberty stars Brianna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu, plus their coach, Sandy Brondello.
Well, we're going to talk about this little scene that took place after the Fever game last night in New York between Sandy Brondello and Caitlin Clark, the New York Liberty, and the agent. The agent. That is what makes this so interesting.
But this wasn't just casual chatter between competitors. Caitlin Clark's agent, Aaron Kane, was right there, turning what could have been small talk into a firestorm. And now every WNBA fan is asking the same question. Is the league's biggest star already plotting her exit from Indiana?
And many people is insinuating that Caitlin Clark could be trying to plan the outs of Indiana. Yes. People is already saying that Caitlin Clark could be trying to get the hell out of Indiana.
After the Liberty's 98-77 blowout of the Indiana Fever on Wednesday, something unprecedented went down in the Barclays Center tunnel. Caitlin Clark sat out with a nagging groin injury, but still made the trip to New York. That alone raised eyebrows. What happened next? Absolute chaos, sending the basketball world into a frenzy.
A WNBA team that have been very, very, very much in, they made it clear that they want Caitlin Clark, or they're eventually going to want Caitlin Clark. Along those lines, they made it very, very clear. And that team is the New York Liberty. And today, we have just seen the New York Liberty players, after the game, meeting up with Caitlin Clark. It is Stewie, it is Sabrina Ionescu, there is Sandy Brondello. And by the way, Stewie is not leaving New York the rest of her career. That is one thing that I will be 199.
Clark and her agent, Aaron Kane, were seen in what looked like an intense, private conversation with Liberty coach Sandy Brondello and stars Brianna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu. The optics were impossible to ignore. This wasn't a random hallway chat. It was a calculated meeting between a player, her team, and what many call the premier franchise in women's basketball.
The New York Liberty sent the blitz. Sandy, Sap, and Stewie are all talking to Caitlin Clark in the tunnel. So my guess is this right here happened at the conclusion of the game. This, my friends, is currently going viral all over social media right now. That is Caitlin Clark immediately after the game. Now, what's crazy is that her team lost the damn game, but Caitlin is all smiles. She's all smiles.
The Liberty players and Clark were all smiles, sparking a viral moment that had fans instantly speculating about the conversation. For a player who's faced non-stop adversity, seeing her relaxed and at ease with the Liberty leadership was a thrill for her supporters, and a nightmare for Fever fans.
This is how it starts in sports. This is how it starts in the NFL. This is how it starts in the NBA. When you start seeing the wheels in motion, there's signs. There's signs before eventually a player gets traded. A player eventually marks their next destination. The Indiana Fever, you're on notice. You're on notice. You better recognize what you've got going on, the asset in front of you, and you do whatever you have to do to correct what is happening.
If you're enjoying this, hit subscribe. Now let's be real about Indiana. The Fever kicked off the 2025 season with championship dreams, rolling out a bold "Now You Know" campaign promising dominance. They added vets like Dana Bonner and Natasha Howard, aiming to build a contender around their superstar. Reality check. The Fever sit at 12-11, struggling to find an identity. Injuries have been brutal. Clark has missed 11 games this season. And even when she's on the floor, consistency is nowhere to be found. One night they look like title contenders. The next, they're getting blown out by teams they should beat.
Guys, today, imagine getting on national TV, being paid by ESPN, paid by CBS, and have the nerve to look at the viewing public, lie to them, and say the Indiana Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark. I'm curious, are those same people going to be on TV this evening, tomorrow morning? Are they going to look in the camera and double down on the Indiana Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin?
The Fever's handling of Clark has been questionable from day one. The WNBA even launched an investigation into alleged fan behavior at a Fever game, only to find nothing. Tone Deaf doesn't even begin to cover it, especially toward a fan base that's been driving record viewership and attendance. Meanwhile, Stephanie White's approach has been to force Clark into her system instead of building a system around a generational talent. Trying to fit Caitlin Clark into your plan instead of designing your plan around her? That's coaching malpractice, especially when she's the league's most marketable player.
I think the obvious issue is Stephanie White is so stubborn to fit a circle in a square peg instead of utilizing the strengths of the team. And she probably felt relief because Caitlin Clark was hurt that, oh, this is my time. I could introduce the culture and the system. And some actually bought in. And then when Caitlin Clark comes back, she doesn't know how to use her. That's not...
Now let's put Indiana's struggles next to what's happening in New York. The Liberty aren't just defending WNBA champions. They're a franchise built to dominate for years. With a core of Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Jonquil Jones, they're already being called a super team. Coach Sandy Brondello is a proven winner, two-time WNBA champion as a head coach and a master at maximizing talent. Her philosophy? Player first, she puts stars in positions to succeed instead of forcing them into a system. The roster construction is next level. Stars are surrounded by players who know their roles. Natasha Cloud brings leadership and defense. Leonie Phoebe adds international flair and versatility. Depth pieces like Kennedy Burke and Maureen Johannes bring championship experience. Most importantly, the Liberty have built a culture of winning. Stewart talks about bringing a championship mindset to New York, and it's clear that mentality runs through the whole organization. They're not chasing one title, they're building a dynasty.